Hey there, it's Krystal Everdeen, and today I'm going to share with you how I crocheted this crochet top. And as always, I have no idea what I'm doing because I'm making it up as I go along, but I am using a size 4 100% acrylic yarn from the brand Red Heart Soft and a size 5mm hook. And the first thing I'm going to do is grab my yarn and create a slip knot and then put my hook through it and chain a chain of 12. I am working on the cup right now, and I have shown how to create cups a bajillion times on this channel, so I'm just going to go through it rather quickly. However, if you need a beginner-friendly tutorial on how to crochet a cup, I do have one, and I will have it linked in the description box below if you want to practice with that first, or if, again, this is way too fast for you and you need a beginner-friendly version. So that will be in the description box below. So basically, after I chain my 12 chains, I'm going to go back on that chain with a single crochet. And once I have gone down the row with single crochet, making sure that I go into every single stitch, especially the last one right here, then I chain one, flip the project over, go into the very first stitch of the new row, and then continue with my second row of single crochet until I reach the end of this row. Now, the most common problem and one of the most frequent comments I receive on my videos is that your cup is curving, and your cup is curving because you either don't go into the very last stitch of the row, you don't chain one, or you don't go into the very first stitch of the new row, and that's why it's curving, because you're decreasing after every row. So yeah, anywho, so now that I've reached the end here and again gotten to the very last stitch, I'm going to now flip my project vertically so I can make the cup this way. And the reason it's going to be triangular is because at this point right here, you're going to create 3 single crochets inside of that one stitch, and that's going to create a point right here while you single crochet your way down and back up, and then you're going to create a point and then down and then back up, and then you're going to create a point, and eventually it's going to be more and more triangular. So after you've created your 3 single crochets on top of that middle portion, then you're going to go down your project with a single crochet until you reach the end of the row. And once you reach the end of the row, you got to make sure that you go into the very last stitch, because again, if you do not do that, you can face some problems with your cup curving. Another reason your cup may be curving is because you're crocheting it too tightly. So those are the main factors, and if any of those aren't the reason why, then I honestly have no idea why your cup is curving. So now that I've gone to the last stitch, I'm going to chain one, flip the project over, go into the very first stitch of the new row, and then single crochet my way back up to the point. And then once I reach the point, I'm again going to crochet 3 single crochets inside of that one middle stitch at the point of the project. So I'm just going to show you that really quickly for those of you who are new to my channel. This is probably not the best tutorial to watch first because, again, I am going pretty fast. I have much more beginner-friendly videos on my channel, so I would suggest you watch those first, and then you come back to this one, especially if you are new to the way that I teach tutorials, because I'm a very unconventional crocheter. So yeah, I created 3 single crochets at this point. Now I'm going to crochet down and then back up and then down and back up until the project is bigger and I put it against my chest and I like the coverage. Alrighty, so since I'm on the smaller side, my cup may look way smaller than yours, but I put the project against myself and I am liking the coverage as long as I finish up this row here. But since this is my last row for the cup, I do want to go ahead and make the strap. So now that I'm at the point and I've crocheted my 3 single crochets, I'm going to now chain a chain of 150, and this needs to be really, really long because I want this to be the strap for my neck and then also crisscross on my back. so that's why it has to be so long. And it's 150 chains just because I came up with that number after some trial and error. So since everybody's body type is different, you may need to chain more or less chains depending on your size and preference. So now that I've crocheted my super long chain of 150, I'm going to go back on that chain with a slip stitch, and I like to go back on the chain for the straps because it makes it a little bit thicker, and it doesn't dig into your skin as much as it would if it was just the chain. Plus, I won't have to cut the yarn from the yarn ball and then reattach it to the cup. I'll just slip stitch my way all the way back down here and then finish the last row on the cup and end it right here. And after I have done that, I'm going to detach the yarn from the yarn ball and then do the exact same thing over again for the second cup. Alrighty, so I have slip stitched all the way down back to the cup, and now I'm going to single crochet my way down to this point. And after that, I'm done with my first cup, and all I have to do now is do the same thing all over again to make the second cup. And after we've created the second cup, then we can move on to the base of the crochet top, or the part that wraps around your torso. So yeah, let's just finish up these cups here. So now that I've completed crocheting both cups, I'm going to attach them together right here in the middle, and then I'm going to work on the part that wraps around your torso, and it's just going to be a simple top after everything's put together. But then we're going to go back to the strap and then make the ruffle design. So to attach the cups, I'm just going to take them both and put my hook through one of the corners of the cup, then put it through the other corner of the cup that I want it to be attached to, get the yarn and slip stitch through both stitches, and voila, the cups are attached. And that's what it should look like. So all you have to do now is either slip stitch your way to either side so that you are on either of these sides and ready to start the bottom portion of the top, or you can detach the yarn from the yarn ball here and then reattach it to either of these sides. I like to detach the yarn from the yarn ball as little as possible, so I'm just going to slip stitch my way to one corner, and then I will catch up with you once I'm there. So now that I have single crocheted across one top, I'm going to now chain 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And the reason I chained 15 is because through trial and error, I figured out that 15 chains is the perfect amount of chains for me to cover from this part of my body to this part. And of course, every body is different, so you may need more or less chains depending on your body type and preference. But for me, it's 15, so if you wanted a reference, that's how many chains that I chain for this portion of the project, and it wraps around my ribcage perfectly, and that's just my preference. But if you want it to be shorter, if you want it to be longer, then make the chain shorter or longer than 15 chains. And yeah, so after you've created that chain of however many chains that you need to cover that portion of your body, then go back on that chain with a single crochet. And once you have gone back on that chain with a single crochet, you're going to hit the cup again. And when you get to the cup, you're going to single crochet all across the bottom of the cup too. And it is a little bit more difficult because there aren't necessarily specific stitches that you can go into. You kind of have to like find your own way, and it's a little bit harder, but this is the only time that's going to be difficult, because since you are making a row of single crochet, the rest of the rows of single crochet that you're going to create after this are going to be so much easier because you could just go into that first row of single crochet. So like I said, I am going all across the bottom of the cup. And once I reach the other side of the other cup, that's when I'm going to chain another 15 or however many chains that you created on this side, and then I will check back on you. Alrighty, so I have now made my 15 chains on the other side, and the project looks like this so far. Just the two cups with the straps and then the two side straps as well. or they're not really straps, they're going to be the base of the top. But yeah, so from here on you're just going to continue making rows and rows of single crochet until you put the project against yourself and you're happy with the coverage. Since this is going to be a crop top, I'm only going to make about 5 rows of single crochet. I never really count, so I don't know. I'm just going to again continue making rows and rows of single crochet until I'm happy with how the project looks when I attempt to wear it. And if you are interested in making your top longer than the one that I make, then all you have to do is make more rows of single crochet, and that's how you make a full top. If you want this to be a bikini top, then you can just pretty much skip this step and then just make this a bikini. But since I want it to be a crop top, I do want to make a few rows of single crochet to serve as the coverage for my torso, my rib cage. So yeah, I'm just going to make rows and rows of single crochet, and I will check back in with you once I'm happy with what it looks like. Alrighty, so as you can see, I actually did many more rows than just a couple of rows of single crochet, but pretty much this is how many I made. And it's going to be a very short crop top. I couldn't decide if I wanted to make this a bikini top or a crop top, so I just went with in between. It's a little too long for a bikini top, it's a little too short for a crop top, or like a normal crop top. But anywho, now that I am happy with the size or the width of this portion of the top, I am now going to work on that Ruffle design that makes this top super cool, hopefully. Again, I haven't made this before, so hopefully it looks good. If you're watching this, I probably think it looks decent. So, yeah, let's go. So, my plan is to probably detach the yarn from the yarn ball and then reattach it, like, on the middle of the strap, like over here. So this is a full strap, right? It's a full strap. And this is where I'm thinking. I want to start the Ruffle design where my neck is going to be. So if I'm wearing this top, and it's like something like this, wrapped around my neck, I want the Ruffle part to start where my neck is. So I'm going to attach the yarn about right here. Again, I'm going to try the project on first and then pinpoint where I need to attach it. But wherever I need to attach it, I'm going to attach it. And then I'm going to crochet my way all the way down the strap and all the way down the cup to the other side of the cup, all the way up to the other side, and match exactly where I started on this side. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to detach the yarn from the yarn ball. You can also just single crochet your way up the strap, but that seems a little excessive, and I just want to attach it. So again, I'm going to try it on first, and I have determined that this is the stitch I need to start the Ruffle design in order for it to be where I want it to be. So I'm just going to grab the yarn and then attach it to this stitch, chain 1, and then I'm going to continue down this strap with a double crochet. And a double crochet is yarn over through the stitch, yarn over back through the stitch, yarn over through 2 loops, and yarn over through the last 2 loops. Now I know this looks kind of clunky, but I will cut off all the excess yarn at the end of this. So yeah, I'm just going to continue making double crochets all the way down this strap, which is a little bit difficult because earlier we slip stitched into the straps to make it a little thicker, which is good, but they're always so hard to crochet into, slip stitches, my goodness gracious. But yeah, I will check back with you in a bit. Alrighty, so update, I have made it down the strap. Man, that was difficult. But now I'm going to double crochet down the actual cup and then across to the other side, all the way up the strap to about the same spot this side is in. So right here, I'm going to stop like right here. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing right now. And after we're done with this row, I'm going to show you how to make this Ruffle, because right now we're just kind of making the base. And then in the next row, that's when we're going to start making this Ruffle by increasing. So if you're unfamiliar with increasing, basically we're going to add some extra stitches in the upcoming rows. That way there's going to be more stitches on the base, and because of that it's going to cause a ripple effect as we continue to build more and more rows on top of it. And that's at least the plan, because again, I'm kind of making this up as I go along, so hopefully it works out. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, then obviously it worked out. So yeah. Alrighty then, I will check back in with you when I'm on the other side. Alrighty, so I've now double crocheted starting from here all the way down this part of the cup, then all the way up this part of the cup to the other side of the strap. And now I'm going to continue double crocheting, but this time I'm going to increase. So, oops, sorry, not in frame. Basically I chained one from here, and now I'm going to create another double crochet. And the way that we're going to increase is every third stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochets inside of that stitch. So now I'm at the 3rd stitch, and I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. So it looks like this. It looks like a little V because there's 2 of them in there. And then I'm going to crochet into 2 more stitches. 1 and 2. And then in this 3rd stitch, I'm going to create 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. Voila! And it doesn't really look like much, but after you continue doing that throughout, and after a couple of rows, you'll definitely start to see the project start to ripple or ruffle, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the row by doing this. Every 3rd stitch, I'm going to make 2 double crochets inside of that 1 stitch. And again, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way down the strap, all the way down the cup, all the way up this cup, and then to this strap. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to chain 1 and then do the exact same thing. And then I think after that there should be enough extra stitches in order for it to cause ripple effect, but we shall see. Alrighty, so I've completed the first row of the increasing double crochets, and you can kind of start to see the ruffle effect now just with that 1 row of increasing. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the 2nd row of increasing, aka making 2 double crochets inside of every 3rd stitch. So as always, I'm going to go ahead and chain 1. I already chained 1 right here at the end of the row, go into the very 1st stitch of the new row. If you don't do that, then your edges will be uneven, and nobody wants that. So yeah, I'm going to go into the first 2 stitches as normal, and then in this 3rd stitch, I'm going to create 2 double crochets inside of that 3rd stitch, and then I'm going to create 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then I'm just going to create a normal single double crochet in the next stitch as well as a stitch after that, and then 2 double crochets inside of 1 stitch, and so on and so forth until I go all the way to the other side and end up right here. And then from there I think I'm just going to make 1 double crochet per stitch from there, because I think that should be enough for ruffling. But if your project is not ruffling enough, then create another row of increase, and if it's ruffling too much, then just stop increasing the number of stitches. Alrighty, so now I'm done with the 2nd row, and this is what it looks like. It looks very ruffly now, and I think I'm going to continue increasing to make it even more ruffly, but of course this is totally up to you. You can from here just start making 1 double crochet per stitch, and it'll pretty much stay the same amount of ruffliness. But if you want more ruffliness, then just continue increasing each row. If you want it less ruffly, then don't increase as much anymore, or you'll probably have to unravel it if you want it less ruffly. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to do. So I'm going to continue making rows and rows of double crochet, increasing every so often if I want more ruffliness. And once the ruffles are nice and thick and how I want them, then I will be done crocheting the top. Alrighty, so I've completed a bunch of rows of double crochet and I've made this really cool looking ruffle. So now I'm going to detach the yarn from the yarn ball, then seal the project by bringing in the excess yarn through the last loop, and then again I'm going to cut that off later. And now we are going to lace up the straps and finally be done with the project. So flip your project so that the back is facing you. Grab one of the straps and bring it over to the opposite side. Attach it through the top portion of the bottom portion of the top, and then reach it on over to the opposite side once again, but this time attach it to the bottom portion of the top and bring that right on through to the other side if it allows you to. It's not for some reason. Yeah, there you go. And then you're going to do the exact same thing but with the other strap. So you're going to get this strap, bring it over to the opposite side, attach it to the top portion of the bottom portion of the top, and then bring it all the way through. After you do that, you're going to bring it to the opposite side once again and attach it to the bottom portion of the top. And after you have done that, then you are completely done with the top, and all you have to do now is style it. So the top should look something like this, and when you wear it, it's going to look like this, hopefully, and I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, found it interesting, entertaining, or helpful, please give it a big thumbs up before you go, and also check out the rest of my channel because I have a ton of other free crochet tutorials. And if you want to find them, just look under the playlist called Crochet and enjoy. Again, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click that red subscribe button if you have not already so I can see you next time. Bye!